Are we rolling? Okay, so in this video, I want to discuss my interpretation of life and the nature of life so far. As you know, how far have I gotten to understand it or to begin to perceive it? So to begin with, I want to start at an absolute basis. When you are looking at anything, I will encourage you to look at things at the most base level possible, to observe its faculties, its properties, and its source, where it comes from. And so, life, when we look at life, let's look at the components. So we have emptiness, empty space, and we have energy. And ultimately, these two things compose everything. And so every single piece of life or every single object on the planet comes from the contrast between emptiness and energy. So if we look at emptiness and then we look at energy, we see that emptiness is the without. It is the observer. It is all over. It is around everything, inside everything that is composed of energy. But in order for an individual life to exist, we need a kind of boundary, a contrast. We need a container. And so these forms are created, and they capture a certain amount of consciousness inside of them, a certain amount of empty space inside of them. And this empty space is what we all are. It is what we are all at the base, is this empty space, this ability to observe, this soul or God that is inside and around everything. So naturally, we are all fragments, like little pieces of this empty space that have been shattered or separated and then encapsulated by energy. But when a piece of energy is observed by consciousness, this piece of energy creates memory. And this memory creates karma. This memory is karma, the desire that will bring you into a circle, into a cycle, this desire. And any unrealized desire will ultimately bring you back in that cycle. And so as a life, the consciousness, the base is empty space. Now we have energy, and then we have memory, the observation of the energy, whether that is sight, hearing, taste, smell. You have observed the contrast, and thus you have stored it as memory, and this is karma. And you hold this, you carry this as an observer. This memory, as soon as you begin to associate me, yourself, your consciousness, with your karma, with your memory, you become entangled. And this is what we call the ego. You associate yourself with your memory. So someone has told you your name is John, you are Caucasian, you are good looking, you're an athlete. Now, Maybe in your life experience this is correct, but you are associating with this fragile image that has been created by your interactions and by your ultimately your memory. So you are associating yourself with energy, with a piece of information. And so this image is very fragile, and it's incredibly powerful when it comes to entrapping you and deluding you. And so the ego itself, just to simplify this again, is the association with memory. And so you associate yourself with a certain music genre, a certain clothing style, a certain sport. When people ask you, who are you? No, I'm a soccer player. I'm a bodybuilder. And now you have a very dense, rigid understanding of yourself. And this makes going through life very volatile, because as soon as something challenges the image which you have established and become deeply associated with, you break. And it happens pretty often. Every time you feel some kind of friction, it is because what you associate with the image that you have created of yourself is being challenged. Whether that is your body, your physical boundary, your physical limitation. When you train in the gym, it's being challenged. You're breaking it down, but it is coming back stronger, which is actually a good thing. But I mean, in terms of the ego, the association with the mind and the body. Let's say the association with the mind and the body, the image that you've created. What is very important is to create a certain distance between consciousness and the mind and the body. And so, how do we do this? How do we create a distinction, a conscious distinction between the mind and the body, so that we can be less fragile and so that we can move through life without our ego bumping against everything and creating friction as we move ahead and limiting ourselves. So how do we distance ourselves from the body and the mind? So sitting quietly, cross-legged position, sitting quietly, place your hands on your thighs, look up, and just be still. Focus on your breath. Really focus on your breath. Feel your breath coming into your stomach. Raise your stomach as you breathe. And just focus on your breath. You need to find a point of concentration. And find stillness. The only way that you can become still is to have a single pointed mind. And to have a single pointed mind, we can focus on our breathing. This is meditation. This is why meditation has been created. It is to overcome illusion, to overcome the association with the ego, with the mind and the body. You see, the mind and the body are amazing tools. They are not to be looked at as boundaries or limitations, but as tools, as very powerful tools. And it is imperative that you hold them in your hand and do not entangle yourself with them. You need some distance. This is what consciousness is. It is distance. It is empty space. It is the ability to observe things. This is consciousness. And sitting down and meditating, feeling your body, feeling the sensations in your body, the way that your breath makes you feel, the way that you react to changes in temperature. This is consciousness, and this creates that distance between you and the body and the mind. And you may feel a bit strange in the beginning when this distance is established, because you have been so deeply associated with the body and the mind for so long, and you feel alien. You feel like a stranger in your own home. But as you go along, you develop your personality, and you learn by being conscious how people work and how the world works. And thus you can shape your personality according to every situation consciously. It is not a program, it is not a code like karma that is just running according to your impulses and your desires. It is now a conscious choice, a conscious response to every situation, just by establishing some distance between you and the ego, the image of the body and the mind. Sit down, meditate, become still, focus on your breath, let go, and establish that distance so that you can consciously respond to every situation as needed. Do not say anything which does not need to be said. Do not react to things which you do not want to react to. Do not give your energy out freely to people who you do not deem as respectable, who you do not deem as worthy of your time. And it's not about being high and mighty. It is about, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? The people that you are associating with, they will influence you, and you will become like them. And you need to really see that you're giving your energy only to the things that you are interested in, only to the things that you want to accomplish, and to the people that you would like to give your energy to. Otherwise, it is imperative that you hold that energy and you allow it to flow inside of you and through you, and you don't just give it away. So yeah, just don't do things which are unnecessary, and be conscious about every action that you make. Do I want to do this? Do I want to eat this? Should I be watching this? Should I be doing this? These are questions that you need to ask yourself, and that will spur your consciousness. But yeah, that's all for today.